Razor Pages is a fast and efficient way to create server-rendered web applications with .NET Core. In this course, we are going to learn all the essential parts of .NET Core with Razor Pages. We will also learn how to create and implement your own designs to your applications with the help of Bootstrap and bootswatch. Bootswatch provides you some cool Bootstrap templates at free of cost, and we are going to use one of them in this project. We will also learn how to interact with databases, how to add record to it, fetch from it, update that record, and delete that record. We will also learn how to add images to database. Hey there everyone, it's Ravindra Devrani. If you find this video helpful, then please hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed this channel, you can subscribe it. So let's get started. Before starting this course, let's talk about the prerequisites. So first thing you need to know is C#. You should have at least intermediate level of knowledge of C#. So first thing we need is C#. Second thing we need is HTML, and you should have a knowledge of HTML because we are going to talk about and learn about the web development, and HTML is the core part of web development. So you should have a basic knowledge of HTML. So third thing, which is not mandatory and it's optional, you should have a knowledge of Bootstrap, since we are not going to use any CSS in this project and we are going to use Bootstrap, which provides you to create your designs without having a knowledge of CSS. Or I'm not saying here not having a knowledge of CSS. With least amount of knowledge of CSS, you can create the great designs with the help of Bootstrap. So these three things are the prerequisites for this course. So for starting development, we need a Visual Studio IDE and a SQL Server Manager. So installing the Visual Studio IDE, we will write here Visual Studio install. Okay, so we have this link here of the Microsoft website, and here you will find a lot of version, and we have to use this community version. It is a free for the individual user, not for the corporate one. So once you get that thing, we will click on this installer and run here. Let's click on the continue. Then what you have to do, you have to check this thing, ASP.NET and web development. And if you want Windows development, then you can check this thing also. And if you want another thing, that you can also install it from here. But in our case, we only need this ASP.NET and web development. So check this thing and install it. Okay. So now you need another tool, and it is called Install SQL Management Studio, and you have to install it from this Microsoft website. And here you will find a link, free download for SQL Server Management Studio, and you have to install it from there and read all of this thing, what they are saying, and install it from here. Once you have installed this thing in your PC, you will have this icon, Visual Studio 2022 and SQL Server, and mine was little bit older, 2014, and you will have latest one. So these two things you will need for the development. Okay, so let's create a new project. Click here in Visual Studio 2022, and what we are going to do here, we are going to create a new project. Then here let's search this Razor Pages. So we have to create this ASP.NET Core web app, and click on this, click on next. Now what we are going to do here, we are going to rename this project. So let's name it Razor Pages Tutorial. Okay, and change this path if you want. I'm gonna change it definitely. Okay, so now nothing needs to be changed. Click on next. After that, we have to select here framework, and which is .NET 7.0. In my case, it is the latest one. If you have 6, then you can select it from here. Now let's check it, configure for HTTPS, and nothing else. We do not need any authentication type in this project, so let's create it. Okay, so it is our project. So let's see how we can run it. You can run it from here, from this icon, this. So click, when you click here, you will see this drop down list: HTTPS, HTTP, 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 IIS server. And if we select this, then our project is going to run in IIS server. But if you click here or even here, then your project is going to run in Kestrel server, and we are going to use a Kestrel server in this project. You can choose either this IIS Express, it doesn't matter, but Kestrel server is an open source and cross-platform server that is very lightweight. So let's click here. Okay, so it is our default application. Here, this is our home page, this is our privacy page. If we click here, we will again move to the home page. So let's close this application and let's see what's inside this solution explorer. Inside this solution explorer, we have our project solution. So right now we have only one project in our solution. So this is a Razor Pages application or web application. Here you can see this multiple folders and files here. So if we click here in this properties, then in this launchSetting.json file, here we are configuring our the launch settings. So here you can see that in the case of IIS, it is our application URL. If we are running this project in our this Kestrel server, or so it is our application URL. So these two URLs are for our application. First one is HTTPS one, this localhost 7075, and the second one is this HTTP localhost 5184. So let's see, if we click here in the run icon, so you are seeing this default URL for your application, local HTTPS localhost 7075, and it is set here localhost 7075. And we have another URLs for our HTTP, it is for HTTPS. So if we click on this URL or run this URL, you will get the same result. Okay, so I hope this thing is clear to you now. So it is our launchSetting.json. Now let's go here, the www.root folder, or we will move here later. First of all, let's talk about this appSetting.json. Now here it is a JSON file, and we write some configuration or some information here that we needed in our project. So like this, if we write here this connection string, so we are going to define our connection string here. Okay, so it is how our application setting.json, and we can even provide some provide some personal information here, like my personal info, and you can put down here, and later you can use it in your project with eye configuration that we will see later. Okay, so now we are here in this root folder. So inside the www.root folder, we defined some static content like CSS files, which CSS file we are going to use in our project, which JS file we are going to use in our project, and it is libraries that we have pre-installed in this project, like this bootstrap library, jQuery library, jQuery validation, and jQuery validation unobtrusive library. These two libraries are used for client-side validation. So it is our www.root folder. It is here. Now we have this pages folder. Inside here we have all of these pages in our application. So these are the shared pages that are going to be shared with multiple pages, and we have these pages now. We have these pages here: error and index and privacy. So let's see how our routing mechanism work here. If we define here directly inside this pages folder, we can directly execute those pages, and okay, we will talk about them later. First of all, let's move here in the Program.cs file. So here it is a main file of our application. Everything runs from here. So here, as we can see, these things are our middlewares. These are called middlewares. This app.use HTTPS redirection, this use static files, use routing, use authorization, map, razor pages. So middleware are the piece of code that controls the flow of our HTTP application. So from the request to the response, and in between the request and response, these middlewares will work. So if you request for a page, then first request move here in this middleware. After passing this middleware, it will move to this middleware, then this middleware, then this middleware, then this middleware, and then you will get a response after passing from all of these middlewares. So whatever middlewares you use, you will define here. And now we have this service section, and we define our services here. So every service you need in your project, you will define here. It means you are resolving your services here in this builder.services section. So here you can see we want that razor pages service in our application, so we are defining it here. So this program.cs page is typically divided into two parts. In the first part, till here we configure our services, okay, and below there we configure our middleware. So let's close this thing, and now let's see how routing works. So let's run this project. So here we are seeing nothing in our route, and if I click here, we will see nothing here in our route, and it is our default route, which is set by this application by default, which is this index.cshtml. So by default we are looking this page or seeing this page. So if I write here hello world, if we go there, press refresh, we are not getting any changes here right now, and we have now this hot reload feature. So if I click here and this hot reload on file save, whenever I save this file, these changes will be reflected here. Okay, now you are getting the changes. So either you can directly hot reload by clicking on this icon, or you can select this feature hot reload on file save. Then whenever you change your file or save in your file, those changes will be reflected to the browser. So if I click here, write this hello world again, then these changes will be reflected automatically. So this is the default page or default route for our application, which is this index.cs HTML page. Now let's see, and if I click here in this privacy, then you are looking this URL, the privacy, the localhost 7075/privacy, and it is the privacy page we have defined here. So if we directly create our page inside this folder, then we can directly access it like this. But what if I create this folder here and name it person? Okay, and now we will create here a new razor page empty, and let's name it the create. Okay, so how I am going to access this page? Let's see, let's run this project. So now we can access that page with this folder name, which is person, and the name of the page you have created, that is create. And it is not a person, sorry, I have done a mistake, person/create. So here we can see this create page, and right here create person, or just add a person. Okay, so here we can see these changes, add person. So it is how our routing works, and we will see more about writing in later part of this series. So let's close this right now, and let's see what I am going to say here. Now if you look into those pages, it is called our razor page, and we have this thing here. If we click here in this icon and expand it, you will see a file here, this create cs.html.cs file. So let me zoom in here. So if we click in this create.cs.html.cs file, and what it is, and way back in the era of web pages or web forms, we call this file code behind, but we do not call it code behind right now. In this razor pages scenario, it is called the page model. So if I close this file and shrink this one, and if I click here, go to page model, we will go into the same file. So it is called our page model. Okay, so here as we are seeing this class create model, which is inheriting this page model. Now we have this OnGet and OnPost method. So when the page gets loaded, this method is called, and when we submit a form or submit a data from the web page, then this method is called. This method is called on the post, and this method is called on the get. And we have one more thing here, get OnGet async and OnPost async, both are the same. These are the asynchronous method or asynchronous replacement of those methods. So we cannot do like that, we cannot execute the both get and get async method. Actually both are the same. Either use this one and this one. If you are using asynchronous methods and asynchronous functionality in your project, then you have to use OnGet async, otherwise this OnGet is fine. Okay, so let's see. If I write here int id, okay, and just let's see how we can, okay, just move it here. Now we will see that how to pass the values from here, this code behind our page model, to this HTML page. So let's create here a string name equals to blank and public string name. Okay, so let's create here async. Okay, let's leave it like this on get. That is fine. We do not need async method here right now, and this thing also. So if I write here, then let's change this name whenever this page gets loaded. Okay, so right here name equals to John Doe. Okay, now how I can fetch this name variable here in this create.cs HTML page. So we can do it like this, and we can access it from here with this model, this create model. So we can access it like this, capital MODEL dot name. Okay, so if I run this project and let's see, now type here person/create. So we are seeing here hello John Doe. So that's how we pass the value from this code behind or page model to this HTML page. Okay, and we have talked about the appSetting.json here. So let's define that variable here, my name. Okay, and let's put it here John Doe. And John Doe 1, let's name it John Doe 1. So let's see how we can access this name from there. So for that we need to do this CTOR. Okay, it is a shortcut, or we can say the snippet for creating our constructor. So now we need a dependency injection. If we want to use any service in any component, we need a dependency injection. So for that we need this iConfiguration service. Okay, so we write here private read only iConfiguration config. Now right here this thing and this thing. Okay, so now we can access this iConfiguration service here in this page. So that's how dependency injection work in .NET Core. We can directly inject our services here. So let's use it, and now we are fetching the name from our configuration file. So let's name it get value string, and if we go there in the appSetting.json copy this my name and paste it here, or you can directly write it also. I just forget about that key, so I just didn't remember what key I have defined there. Okay, so it is how we are getting the name. So let's see, are we getting the name John Doe 1 or not? So let's change this route, person/create. Okay, hello John Doe 1, and it is coming from the appSetting.json. So that's how we can use our appSetting.json in the .NET Core Razor Pages or .NET Razor Pages project. So let's close it for now. Now we will create everything from the scratch. We are not going to use these boilerplates. So what I am going to do, I am going to delete all of these folders. Yeah, I am crazy. Actually, otherwise you are not going to learn how to create your own projects. So if we delete all of these files, boom. Okay, now I also do not need this index.cs HTML page. I do not need it. Okay, I do not need even this person folder. We will create it later. And here I do not need this layout.cs HTML page. We will create our own later. And I also do not need this validation script part. We are gonna delete it. And here we are not going to delete this view imports page. What this view imports page does, we define all the using statement here that we are going to use in our project or in our pages. So suppose we create a page and we have a Razor page that is using these tag helpers. So to use those tag helpers, we have to import this thing in our project. So it is that kind of thing. If you need any functionality in your Razor pages, you have to define here, and those changes will be applied globally in all the pages. So you do not need to use this using Razor pages tutorial again in any page because we have defined in here. So do not delete this view imports.cs HTML page because the global imports are declared here. So keep that thing in mind. Do not delete this view imports.cs HTML page. Now this view starts.cs HTML page, let's clean this thing. Okay, let's remove this thing, and we are also not going to delete this page because we have to add it again. Now this error.cs HTML page, so here it is our error page, so let's keep it as it is. Why do we need to delete this? Okay, so I also do not this privacy page, but leave it like that. Okay, now we have deleted only the index page from here, the layout file from here. Okay, now let's create our own index page. Okay, so here right click here in the pages, add new Razor page, back is very fine. Now select this Razor page empty and keep it as it is, index.cs HTML page. Okay, now we have nice and blank HTML page. So let's click here, hello there. Okay, so let's run this page. So now this is how our application look like, and I know it looks silly right now. We will make it better in later part of this tutorial. do not worry about that. I will teach you everything. So how we are going to deploy a design or implement a design? Actually, we are not going to do any CSS part here. I'm simply gonna use the bootstrap. So type here bootstrap. Okay, and this website getbootstrap.com, we are going to use our bootstrap CDNs and bootstrap design with CDNs. So click here in the docs, and here the quick start guide, we are going to copy this thing. Actually, not this thing. We need also a CSS file and JSS files in this project. So copy this thing, and what now? Paste it here. Okay. Now we have this default template for application. Here we are linking the bootstrap style sheet from the CDN, and it is much better than using it locally because it provides you caching and it is much faster than the local ones. So if you have your local CSS file, then you have to link it like this: link href equals to name of your folder that will be defined here in this root folder, and name of file .css, and here we will write relation equals to style sheet, and this is, but we are not going to do it right now, we will do it later. Okay, so it is a script file and we are using the bootstrap script here. Okay, now what? Now let's run this project and let's see, do we get anything? Definitely we will not get anything right now because it's just a hello world in this application. So again, we are not seeing anything here. What we are going to do here, we are going to use the functionality of bootstrap. So if you scroll down here, then we will find something very useful that is called navigations, and here click on this navbars. Now which navbar we are going to use? Let's see, we are gonna use this one, and let's use this one. So click here in the click here and it will automatically copy it for you. Then minimize this tab, go here and paste it here. That is definitely fine. Now we are going to put this thing inside a div class equals to container. It is a bootstrap class that will centralize everything, that will keep your content in the center of the page. Okay, so you can see we have applied this navigation bar here. Now it is very basic design, and what we are going to do here, we are going to use an amazing feature, like we are going to use this bootswatch, and it is an amazing website that provides you bootstrap themes. So let's go there, let's see what theme we should use, and I'm gonna use this quartz. It is very colorful theme. I know it doesn't look that much great on the form sections because your form or inputs look like this. It isn't that much great, but it's okay. We are definitely going to use it in our project. So what should we do right now? Now let's move back there and click on this download. Now it has downloaded a bootstrap file for us. Let's cut this bootstrap file or copy this bootstrap file, go there, and in the www.root folder, let's create a folder and name it CSS. First of all, let's stop this project, and now let's rename it CSS. Let's paste our file there inside this CSS folder. So paste it here. Now what we are gonna do, we are going to remove this link, and we do not need it right now. Paste it here. Okay, let's change the title here and name it Rager Pages Demo. Okay, we are looking very good right now, and remove this character. What it is called, tilde character. Now let's run this project again. Let's see what are the changes we are getting right now. Now we are seeing this thing, and what we are going to do, we are going to remove the previous navigation bar. Okay, let's refresh this page. Now we don't have anything right now, and how we are gonna do, we are gonna get that navigation page. We will click here, and when we go there, we can select anyone from here, any navbar from here. So I'm gonna select this one, and I'm gonna copy this code. So let's paste this guy here, and I hope we will get everything fine. Now it is our page. So let's move here and do a little change here also. In this container section, we will write this p4, and it will create padding from every side, top, left, right, and bottom. And now our page will be look like this. Okay, which is not that much fine. I guess 2 will be much fine. p2. Okay, so it is not even that much fit. So let's write here px3. Let's see, px3, sorry, py3. What y means, it will create a padding from the top and bottom, from both top and bottom. Okay, we are looking much better right now. Okay, so if I click here, I'm not getting anything because we didn't have defined anything, any route. So let's define, so let's do one thing. Now I'm going to teach you about the partial views. What are the partial views? We will talk about it later. First, let's create how to create partial view. So click here in this shared folder. Right now, let's do this. But before moving to partial views, we have to learn about layouts. We will talk about it later. So first of all, what we are going to do here right now, what we can do here, first of all, let's define some linking here. So let's talk about the tag helpers. So we have two ways of defining our URLs. First one is this. Either we can define this index. Okay, it is our HTML way of defining links, or we can define it like this: ASP page equals to index. So this ASP page is called tag helper. Okay, and it is an anchor tag helper. You can see it here. So tag helpers are defined in ASP.NET Core. Before the ASP.NET Core, we have HTML helpers in ASP.NET MVC with .NET Framework. So we have multiple type of tag helpers. We have some form helpers also. We will see it later. So do not worry about the definition part. Just keep this term in your mind. It is called tag helpers. And it is a way of binding our normal HTML components to these server side things. Okay, so it is called a tag helper. So we are definitely gonna use the tag helpers here. So let's use here ASP page equals to, and we have another page here which is called privacy. So here it is called privacy. Okay, let's change it to privacy now, and we can write here also ASP page equals to index. Okay, now let's run this project and let's see the changes. Okay, so if I click here in this privacy page, we are not seeing anything. Okay, so here we are seeing something. We have applied this design only in this index page. So what I have to do that this design will be applied everywhere automatically. We have two ways. Either I can copy all of these things in the privacy page. Okay, it is a one way, but it's not a very good way, because if we have to change our links here in this index page, then we have to change those things here also in this page. But right now we have only two pages. It looks much more feasible. But what if we have the hundreds of pages? Do we need to changes? Do we need to do changes in all those pages? No, it should not happen like this. What is the solution for that? I'm gonna save you. So we have called a layout pages for that. So what layout page is? It is a layout for overall website, and this layout content will be put here, and we have some section where our content pages will be rendered. Okay, so click here in this shared folder. Fine. Okay, first we need to stop this project. Now right click here, add new item. Okay, and we have to select search a layout view. So let's search it here, layout. So it is our layout page. Okay, fine. So what is going to happen here? It is our layout, and all the pages will be rendered here with the help of this render body method, and all other pages will be rendered inside this div section. So now what we are going to do, we are going to cut all of this code and leave this index.cs HTML page nice and clean. Okay, and we are going to remove all of this thing from here and paste everything from the index.cs HTML page. Okay, what I have done here, I have copied all the things from this index.cs HTML page and replace all the contents of this layout page with this HTML. Now, where we need to render our body. So we are going to render our body here. So we write here this render body, and every page will be rendered here inside this div container. Okay, every page will be rendered here. So if we click on index page, it will be rendered here. If we click on the about us page, it will be rendered here. Privacy page, it will render here, and every page that is linked to this layout will be rendered here. So keep that thing in your mind. Okay, so let's write here s2, hey, it is index page. Okay, so that's it. Now how we are going to link our index layout, this link this layout page here. So we have to write here layout equals to just name of that layout, which is layout. Okay, keep one thing in your mind. If we have defined our layout page inside this shared folder, we can directly use it. But what if you have defined your layout page in the other folder? Let's see, if you define your layout page in this layouts folder, then what we will have to do here, we can not directly access it like that. We have to access it like this, pages slash layout slash layout.cshtml. So we have to give the full path. If you have defined your layout page other than this shared folder, and we are not gonna do that, we are going to define our layout page only inside this shared folder. Okay, so we have our layout page here inside this shared folder. Now keep that thing in mind. Do not put here anything, any extension like .cshtml page. Just write the name of this page, which is layout, without any extension. Okay, so we have to do it here also inside this privacy. Okay, so we can paste it here. Now we can see that it is our privacy page and it is our index page. In the index page, only this content appears, index page, and in the privacy page we have only this much content. Everything other we have defined here. So let's run this application. Okay, so if I click here in privacy, we can see this layout page. So I hope you got a better understanding of layouts right now. I hope. Now we are going to talk about the partial views. What are the partial views? They are the normal CSS/HTML pages without any this page model. Okay, so our partial views does not contain any page model. So these are our partial views: view exports, view imports.cshtml, and view start.cshtml. These are our partial views. Okay, but I forgot one thing to tell you. Sorry about that. One thing has remained. Right now we are defining layout page here. We are linking right like this, layout equals to layout and layout equals to layout, and we have to keep that thing on every page, but we have a solution for this. So let's remove it from here. Okay, we are not linking every page like this. Okay, we have removed this layout from here. How we are going to define our layout page? We have this page called view start.cshtml page, and it is rendered before every normal page or every razor page. So we can define our layout here. Okay, so it should be like this. Fine, so let's run our project. So it is also working fine. Okay, now what it has done, we do not need to define our layout page here. We do not need to do in every page. Okay, we have got total freedom right now. So we will talk about the topic which is called the the partial views. So partial view does not contain any this page model. They are the pure razor pages. So these things, view imports and view start.cs HTML page are the partial views, and you can see that they do not have any page model. Like it have the error.cs html.cs file. This one also have this file. This one also have this file. So these are the razor pages, not the partial pages. These are the partial pages. They do not contain any page model file or code behind file. So how we are going to create our partial views? First, let's create this partial view and click on this new item. Now if we click here, razor page empty, and it says it gonna create a razor page with a page model, and we do not need that. So what we are going to select, this razor view empty. So let's create with underscore. It is a naming convention for layout and partial pages, and let's name it nav. Okay, and what we are going to do here, let's open our layout page where it is shared layout. And what we are going to do, we are just going to cut all of this thing from here and move to this nav.cs HTML page. Now we have moved all of our navigation in nav.cs HTML page. So how we are gonna call that navbar here? First of all, we will talk about why do we need a partial views. Partial views are great way to minimize your complexity in your code, and here we can break our code into multiple chunks so that our code or our web page or HTML page looks much more cleaner. And it has one more benefit. If you have a code that you are going to use in multiple places, then you avoid the repetition of that code. We simply put that code into a partial view and we can call it whenever we need that in our project. So it avoid the code repetition. Okay, so it has two benefits: avoid code repetition and avoid the readability issue of your code. It means we are not going to put everything in a single page. Okay, so we have a tag helper called this partial name equals to and name of that partial page, that is nav. Okay, so that's how we can call this partial page here. So now you can see how our layout page is looking. It is looking much more clear right now. It have very less code, and we have moved these navigation links into this partial views. Okay, so let's run this application. Let's see everything is working fine or not. So here we can see that everything is working as expected. Everything is nice and fine. So let's close this application and talk about the topic. So right now this home page is looking nothing. We have nothing here, and let's redesign this home page. So what we are going to do, we're going to use some bootstrap components here, and let's use this card and here. So we are gonna use this component called card, and we are going to use this one. Let's see, do we have some better ones? Yeah, this one looks fine. Okay, so what we are going to do, just click here, copy to clipboard, and let's paste it here. Okay, first we need to move to the index page. So here is our index page. Okay, now we will paste it here. That is fine. And just write here, welcome. Fine. Let's see how it is looking. Okay, we are not seeing any change. Let's see this hot reload. Okay, now it is fine. So we don't have any pictures here because we haven't defined it yet. So what we are going to do, we are going to find some random images from the internet, and let's click here, and I'm going to use this API for that. Pick some dot photos. So I'm gonna use the random image and let's paste it here. Everything is looking fine, and I can also tweak the size. So I'm gonna use it 150 or maybe 140. It should be 22. Okay, now we can look here. Okay, it is looking fine, and what we are going to do next, we are going to copy these cards, but before that let's create a div class equals to dflex, and flex, what we say, justify. What is, okay, IntelliSense was not working. Justify content center, I hope it is right. Yeah, justify content center. And okay, now we are putting this card inside this flex box. Now let's paste it here and here. Okay, it should be between, then it will look much better. Let's see how is it looking. Okay, it is looking perfect. Now our home page is looking a little better, but let's do one more thing here. And now let's paste this thing here. Okay, and width 100. Let's remove this thing from here. Okay, let's leave it a body, and we also do not need that body. Okay, let's see. Okay, and we need py4. That should be perfect. Not py, my. And let's leave it like this. MB margin bottom 4 is too much. Let's leave it with 2. Okay, 2 is enough. Now we need some padding also, so we need p2. Okay, p2 is fine. So let's put some content here. I have picked some random content from internet, and that was a lorem ipsum content. So I'm gonna paste it here. It is just a random content, and let's see how it is looking. Okay, so it is looking like this, and now our page is looking much more better. So it is our home page, and you can design on your own choice. It is just a simple plain home page with some images and some text. Okay, actually I don't need to do this thing, but I'm just showing you how to create a basic home page so that you can create your own home pages whenever you are creating a website or something like this. so you can do it on your own, and I'm just telling you how to use the bootstrap components in your bootstrap project. Okay, so apart from designing, let's move to our original content here. And now what we are going to do, now we will create our own component, our own page. So let's create a person page here and click on this razor page, select this one, and let's name it, sorry, before doing that, we need to create a folder here. So let's create a new folder, name it person, and we have done it before in this project, so I'm just repeating this thing. And click here and click on this new razor page, create a razor page and give it a name. Let's name it create. Okay, so now I am showing you once again that it is our CSHTML page. Here we will put our designing part, and here we will do some backend C# coding, and we will write some code part here, C# code part here, and we will write the HTML part here. Okay, so now what we are going to do, we are going to do some database connectivity with it, and we are going to create some basic operation now. So we will learn all of these things and all of the concepts with creating some actual code. So what we are going to do here, I'm going to create a folder data. Inside that we will create a class, and it is our model class. So we are going to create a model class. So let's name it person. Okay, so now we will have some properties of this person, like ID, person should have a name, and person should have an email. That's it, and we do not need any other information, but put here a question marks. Now after putting this question mark, our property is become nullable. It means you can assign null here. So this question mark is the sign of a nullable property. Okay, now what we are going to do, we are going to put some validation logic here. For that, I'm gonna write here required. It means this property is required and you do not leave it empty. So press Ctrl dot here, click here and press Ctrl dot, and I don't know why it is not showing any IntelliSense here. It should be, so sometime this IntelliSense does not work, so I have to write it manually here, system.component.data annotation, and let's copy it here and paste it here. So I'm gonna need one more validation logic here. This email should be an email address. It means you cannot put any wrong email address. It should be a valid one. Okay, so let's close it. Now our model has created. Now what we are going to do here, we need a database context class, and it should be named like this, database context. Okay, now let's define a constructor here, ctor, but before that we need to install two packages. So if we type here gist.github.com/rd003, which is my git or git repository, here I have this file and I have copied all of this code from the Microsoft doc. So how do we create the default database connectivity with our application, our .NET Core application? So first of all, we need to install these two packages from the NuGet package. So first one will be this Microsoft efcore.sql server, and we have two ways to do this. First one, if we go here inside this tools and you get package manager console, and we directly write here. It is a one way, and one way is this, like package manager console from this manage NuGet packages, and here click on this browse section and search this. If we search this, it will take a while and it will bring you a result with this Microsoft Entity Framework core.sql server. Here you have to select this project and click install. So here I am using the latest framework, which is .NET Core 7 or .NET 7. If you are using the sixth one, so you have to select this 6.0.12. So in our case, we are using here the .NET version 7, so we are going to use it. So click here in install, and it is the second package we need in our project. So just copy it also. I'm going to show you another way of doing it, but first we need to install this one. Okay, just close this guy for now. Okay, now we have installed it. We have another way of doing it, and like I said before, with this package manager console, but with this, what we have to do, we just have to write here install package, and write this Microsoft efcore.tools, and this package is needed to run our migration commands, and that what we will see in later, what are the migration command. So do not forget to install this package. Okay, so this CLI version of installing is much more quick. It takes too much time from here, go there and then search that package, then install, and it takes too much time. So it is a very quick and efficient way of installing things from NuGet package. Okay, so let's close this right now. Now what we are gonna need, we are going to define a connection string. So I'm just gonna move here and I'm going to copy this connection string. Okay, just paste it here and press comma and put this connection string here. So name of our connection string is CONN, and you can put anything like here, like default or anything, but I'm just gonna go with con. So it is our data source, and you might be wondering from where you are getting it. So I'm getting it from the SQL server. So it is the instance of my SQL server, and you can find the actual instance here like this, and your SQL server might have this instance, and if I paste it here like this, it will also work. So if we have this direct name, then we can use this Ravindra here directly, or sorry, dot here directly. But if your instance is like this SQL server and something like this, then if you have this kind of server name, then we have to write here with that instance. Okay, so I hope you understood this. I think it is getting a little bit confusing right now, so we will go just with this. Either we can write here dot, or we can select this name from here and paste it here. So both of will work fine. Okay, so let's close it for now. So it is our name, it is the instance of our SQL server. Here inside this initial catalog, we are going to write the name of our database. So let's name it Razor Pages Tutorial. Okay, so it is our database name, or let's say it in DB. Okay, Razor Pages tutorial DB, or we can short it Razor Pages DB. That is also fine. Integrated security will be true because we are using a Windows authentication here. If you are using this project in your server, then you need to remove it from here and put a username and password instead of this. And here the trusted server certificate, whatever it is, it should be true, and that's fine. It is our connection string. Now connection string part is done. Here we have to do some connectivity right now. First of all, I need to write here db context, and it will inherit this class db context. Okay, here I'm just gonna write one more thing, which is this. So we are gonna replace this thing with this. Now, because we want to add that class inside our database, and we want to enter this person class into our database as a table. So for that, what we have to write here, public db set, okay, person, okay, and let's name it person. That is fine. So after adding this line, this table or this class is going to be saved in our actual database. If you don't write this line, the changes will not be reflected into database, and this person class is not going to be your table in the database. So keep that thing in your mind. Okay, now this database context part is done, and we have a last section here. Inside this program.cs, we have to copy this code, and let's close this for now. Okay, and let's paste it here. We need this service in our project. So here it is our name of the context class, and here it is the name of our connection string, which I have defined here, CONN, and it should be the same, CONN. So please keep that thing in your mind. This name and this name, this name and this name should be same. Okay, now we have done our connectivity. So what we are going to do, we are going to create some migration commands, and migration commands are used for creating a database. So first add migration init. Okay, it is going to create a migration file for us. So after creating a migration file, we will look into that file and see what it is. Okay, so it is taking a little bit because, okay, build failed, and we have some error in our project, so we are gonna look into it. Namespace directly contained member such as field. Okay, so it should be here inside this class, not directly inside the namespace. Okay, now we are fine, I guess. Let's build this project and remove those errors. Okay, now we are fine. Okay, so let's run that command again, add migration init. Okay, now as you can see here, it has generated a migration file for us. So first here in this up section, it is saying that what are the changes that are going to be reflected into database. First of all, it is going to create a table for us that is person, and it have following fields like ID, name, email, and it has a primary key and etc, etc. So it is the migration file, and when we write this update database command, this command is going to look for the latest migration file that we have created. Right now it is the latest one, but in future when we do some changes in our code, then we will have multiple migration files, and this update command is going to look for the latest one. So right now we have only one, which is the latest one. So this command is going to look for that migration file. So press enter here, and it has started build, then build is succeeded. Now it is creating a tables or database for us. So now it has created a database for us. Okay, so we can look into our SQL server and see that is this database is actually present in the database or present in the SQL server or not. So we are going to log into the SQL server, and after that, now if we look here inside this database section, we have multiple databases here, and it is our database that we have created, Razor Pages DB. We have this migration history files, and we do not need to worry about that, but it is the person table that we have created. So let's expand this, and these are the columns: ID with primary key, name and email. Okay, and these fields are not null because we have put the validation logic there so that these fields are not going to be null. Okay, so let's close this thing and move back to the Visual Studio. Okay, now let's close this migration file. We do not need it now, and we do not need this context class also. So let's move here inside the create.cshtml.cs and create.cshtml file. So let's see. First of all, what we are going to do here, we are going to create a bind property. So first of all, let's see how I can get the data from this view to this cshtml.cs file. So let's define this view first. So for that, I'm gonna use a bootstrap code. So let's type here. First of all, we need a div here. So div, okay, here. Let's refine the add person. Very good. Now we are gonna use a form, and it have a tag helper like ASP action, which action method is going to use, and it is create the same page. Okay, so inside this we have this div with class form group. Okay, now we will define a label here, and ASP4, it is a tag helper, and ASP4, this, what it is, create model. But before that, we need to define a property here that we are going to bind with our form. So we are gonna write here bind property, and let's define that property. It will be a person, and it should be data.person. If I write here only person, then it is gonna confuse that if it is a person of this namespace, we have a two namespaces, like it is confusing with this Razor pages dot person and with data dot person. So we have to clearly specify that we are using the data dot person right now, and let's name it person. Okay, now we are absolutely fine. So here what it is saying that it is a non-nullable property. Oh, it's okay. So now here we are gonna bind that person dot name here. Okay, and here it will automatically generate a label with name. Now we need input ASP4 person dot name. Okay, and it have a class which will be form control, which is a bootstrap class. Okay, now we need a validation message here, so it will be a span class equals to text is danger. It is also a bootstrap class, and here what we are gonna write validation, ASP validation for name. Okay, now let's copy these guys and paste them here, and let's change here name with email. Okay, with here email, and it should be like person dot email, and here should be a person dot name. Okay, now we have defined our two properties. Now we are gonna define a button here, so it should be like this div class equals to my2, and here we will define a button class equals to btn primary. Okay, and it should be a save. Now we are looking much better right now, and here we will define error message, so we will define it later. Okay, now move here. So let's talk about this method OnGet and OnPost. So if we have these two methods OnGet and OnPost, these are the simple methods, and if we have this async method, then we have to write async at the end like this. So now these simple methods are not gonna work here, because here suppose I want to return anything like return page, then it is not gonna work because this method has not any return type. So for this scenario we need action result. So we have to write here action public action result on post, public action result on get. Now our methods has a ability to return anything from here, and action result is a generic class that contains so much kind of classes, like we can return a not found from here, okay, which is also good, and we can also return a page from here, which is also good. We can return a content from here if we like. So all of these kind of thing we can return from this method. So these are called action result. And okay, basically what we are going to write here, public async task action, okay, it is fine, public action result on get, that's okay. And here we are gonna write public async task action result, and it should be on post async. Okay, and if it is a action type of method, action result type of method, then it should return anything. So it will return just a page. Okay, now we are absolutely fine. Now we will also return a page from here, and we will define the functionality later. Now connecting to the database, we need to use what we say here, we need to inject our database context into this class. So for that, what we have to do here, just write here ctor, press double tab, it will create a constructor for you. And what we are gonna write here, actually let's write here database context ctx. Okay, press control dot and create and assign field ctx. Okay, but it should be look like this, and we are going to differentiate this variable or this parameter or this field. So this it is called a field and it is called a parameter. If you put your mouse pointer, then you will see it is a field. It is a read-only field, and if we put our pointer here, it is a parameter. Okay, so if a variable or anything like this is defined inside a method, it is called parameter. If we define it here, it is called a field. So we are going to distinguish the name of field and this parameter. So I put a underscore here, and it is also a naming convention for defining the fields. So now we can put away this from here. Now we do not need it and we are fine. So now we are going to define some functionality here. So first of all, let's write here try catch exception ex. Okay, first of all, we are going to check if our model is valid or not. So it means whatever data our form is passing is valid or not. So for that, we need to write here model state dot is valid, and I put a negation sign here. It means if our model state is not valid, then we will return a page from here. It means we will move to the same page from here. Now here we are going to put some logic here. So we are going to check here if if person equals to null, then return not found. Okay, now we have done a null check here. Now we are fine. Now we can write here ctx dot person dot head dot person, and we can also write here ctx dot save changes. Now our changes will be reflected to database, and we are going to write here temp data. It is an efficient way of transferring data from the CS file to this HTML file or CSS/HTML file. So we are going to write here success message and temp data dot success equals to saved successfully. Okay, now it is fine. Okay, saved successfully. Now we will write here temp data dot error, and we're just going to write here error has occurred. In the case of error, we will not move to the page. We are going to redirect to this page. So return redirect to page, and it is going to be null here or blank here because we are redirecting to the same page. So that's why we haven't write anything. If we are moving to other page, then we have to write the name of that page here, like abc/xyz and page name like this. Okay, but in our case we are moving to the same page, so we are not going to write the name of the page. Okay, so our get method or post method has created, and now we have to write here div class equals to alert. No, not like this. First we need to check a condition. If temp data success doesn't equals to null, then what we are going to do, we are going to display that success message inside this alert success. So it should be like this, and we are gonna display that temp data dot success here. Okay, but what if we get error message? So we will write here temp data dot error does not equals to null, should be error, and it should be alert danger. Okay, but this thing we are needed multiple times in our project. So if we have a error create page and edit page, and it is the case of person, but now what if we have the multiple pages like person, like products, category, everywhere we need to display this success message or error message. And for that, what we have to do, we have to write this code everywhere in the project, but we are not going to do it, and we are going to create a partial page for that, and we are going to implement a reusability, code reusability. We have that facility, we are definitely going to use it. So create here and create a new item and create a new razor view. Let's name it to message. Fine. Let's put that code here, and we are gonna call it like this: partial name equals to message. Okay, now let's test this project. Okay, and let's see, do we have defined a link here? So now we are going to define a person link here. So let's define it, create person or just person. Just person is fine. ASP page equals to person/create. Okay, let's click here. Now we are able to see a person link here. Let's click on this, and here we have moved to there, add person. So let's add a person. Let's name it person1, person1@gmail.com. Let's save it. Okay, so it is saying error has occurred. Okay, that is absolutely fine. So now what we are going to use, what are we going to learn here? We will see that how we can track error and how we can use the functionality of breakpoints. So we are gonna debug our code and use the breakpoint. So click here, and if we click here, now we have put our breakpoint here, so our code will be stopped here. Okay, so let's go there and let's enter the values again, person2. Let's click on the save. Now as you can see, we have stopped here. Now click here in this step over button here in the top. Here you can see, or either you can press the F10 button, it is the shortcut for that. So either press the F10 or click here on the step over. So click here. Okay, fine, model is valid, that is perfect. Person equals to null. Okay, person is also not null. Here we can see that we can also see the values we are getting here. So if we move our mouse here in this person and we will expand it, we can see what values we are getting. So we are getting ID 0, that is absolutely fine, it should be 0, it will be automatically generated inside the database. And name is person1, it is also fine, and here it is the email, person2@gmail.com. okay, so let's move further. Okay, so it is also fine, the saved successfully, and that error was happening because of my system is getting a little bit slow, and if your system is slow, then the code is not going to work and it will display an error of wait, something like that, wait operation failed or something like that. So there was not any error. We have debugged our code, now we are fine. we can click here in continue now. Okay, so we have seen here saved successfully. Now we can remove the breakpoint from there and just click here and it will remove the breakpoint. So if you want to put breakpoint here, you can put it there and wherever you want. So I'm gonna teaching you how to debug your problems and how to use the breakpoint functionality. Okay, so let's add one more person2 @gmail.com. Let's save it. Okay, person3 @gmail person3. If I click here, it is saying that please include @ in email. Okay, person3 @gmail.com. Okay, it is fine. So if I do not enter anything, then it is showing us a error message. Okay, so let's name it John. Let's click on save. It is saying email field is required. So let's write here John @xyz.com. Okay, let's save it. Now what we are gonna do, we are gonna add a button here and let's name it, it should not be button, it should be anchor tag, it should be default and it will have a name all records. Okay, now it will have ASP action equals to or ASP page equals to, we will create this page later, so let's name it display all. Now what, let's see. Okay, all records, but it is not looking that much well, so let's name it btn info. Let's see how it is looking. And okay, it is looking, yeah, okay. If I put here btn dark, do we have this button? Let's see. Yeah, it is looking much better. Okay, so for now what we have to do, we have to define this display all page where we are going to display all the records. So go here and right click in the person folder, add a razor page and name it display all. Okay, display all. We are good. So now we are going to move inside that display all. So okay, it should not be a C# class, my bad, it should be a display all. So right click here in the this person folder, add razor page, it should be razor page empty and it should be display all. Okay, and it is gonna take a while. Now we are fine. Now what we are going to do, we are going to move here in this code, go to PageModel. Okay, what we need here, we need to define a model. So prop double tap, it should be enumerable and let's name it data.person. Let's name it people. Okay, here we are going to define this constructor, private read only database context ctx Okay, and here we are going to define a parameter database context ctx, and this ctx equals to ctx. Now fetch the records from the database. For that, I'm going to write here person or people equals to ctx dot person dot tool list. Okay, fine. And here we do not need any task as action result, because we just have to set this people field and we are gonna fetch it here. So it is going to work fine. So let's write here public and div, okay, table class equals to table, table bordered, table stripped, table t head, and inside that we have a tr which is a row. Tr, it will have name and inside a tr we will have th, name, email, action. Now we will have a loop for each where item in model dot person or people, let's name it person. Now here we will have this t body. Inside that t body we will have this for loop. Now we will define a row tr. Inside that we will have this td person dot name, person dot email, and here we need two buttons. So first one will be a href or something like that, a class equals to btn success, it should be edit, and asp page equals to edit. Okay, asp root id equals to @person dot id, and we will create this edit page later, so then I will show what is the meaning of this id. Okay, so we are looking here very good. Now we will create, okay, this t head is moved here, so it should be closed here, and this tr. Okay, now we are fine. So it should be a delete page, delete, and we are going to remove this thing from here right now. We do not need it right now. We will define it later, bt and danger, and it is giving us error, so let's remove it from here for now. Okay, now we have these two buttons, so let's test our project. So here let's click on this person tab, click on this all record, and let's see person slash, okay, this create page. Inside this page all record person. So if I put it like that, person slash display all, should it be fine now? Okay, now I am getting the error because what we have done here, we have done a terrible thing here. Actually, we do not have it. I have this terrible error and I accidentally created this name. It should be like this, display all. Okay, so now I guess it should be display all, and now we are fine. Now if I remove this person from here, it should be work fine. Right now we are getting error and it is saying display all public. Okay, void. Okay, now what it is saying, database context ctx equals to ctx. Okay, display all, and it should be changed here also. I guess now we are fine. Let's try to build it. Okay, we have lots of errors. So what I'm going to do right now, we have only one option here, and okay, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just going to change everything. So let's find where changes are needed. So here it should be also display all person slash display all. Okay, so here it is our class display all, which is a page model, which is fine, and here it is our display all. Okay, we're fine here. What it is saying, non-nullable property people must have contain a non-null value. Okay, it doesn't matter right now. Display all. Let's build this project. Let's see. Okay, we do not have any error right now, so we are fine. So these kind of thing happens always in the programming journey, and what's important is do not get afraid and face the error and try to solve it. Okay, so let's run this project again. Okay, so click here in this person and click on this all records page, and right now we are here inside this page and we are getting this nice grid, and actually it is not looking that much great. Oh, it is the option we get in this template, so we do not complain about it. Okay, now everything is working fine. Now we need to define this edit functionality, so close this tab right now and let's create a page edit. Okay, let's create a page and name it creator page and name it edit. Fine. So edit page should be similar like the create page. So what we are going to do, we are going to copy this HTML part of the create page and paste it here. Okay, and it should be like this edit, and if we go here inside this edit page, okay, let's open this create.cshtml.cs page also. So let's copy these things here and paste them here also. So name of the constructor also need to be changed here, so it should be edit. Okay, everything else will be similar. And now what we need to do, just go here, and we can also copy it, but we have to do some changes, and we will do it. Okay, so we do not need that create pages again. So let's remove this thing here and paste it here. First of all, we need to update this get method. So when we click on edit, our URL will be like this: edit question mark id equals to 2 or 1 or whatever like it. So we are gonna fetch that id here. So we are gonna this id from the URL parameters. So okay, now what we are gonna do, where person, we are gonna find that person here. Where person equals to ctx.person ctx.person.find id. Okay, if person equals to null, then return not found, otherwise return page. That is fine, otherwise return page. But before that, what we are going to do, we are going to assign that person equals to person. Okay, now we have assigned this property from here, from the get method. Now what we have to do, we have to change this update method only. So we have to replace this add to update. Now we are fine. Okay, so now we have defined, or now we need to change it here like this. If we have successfully updated, then we will move to display all page, display all. Otherwise we are gonna stay here, return page. Okay, so what this return page will do, it will leave you remain in this same page, and the state will not be modified here. So whatever value you have put in your text box, those will not be lost if we write this page. But if we write here return redirect to page, then it will redirect to this page, and all the text box or input values will be reset. So we do not want that. So I'm gonna write here just page, so that we won't lose our values. Okay, I guess I need to do one more thing here. And what is that thing? Now we do not now we want to provide the id, so id should not be 0 now. For this I'm gonna do here input type equals to hidden, and it should be person.id. okay, and here this div should be closed, and it should be edit person, and let's change this button to update. Everything will be same. We do not need to change anything right now. Okay, so let's move this thing, let's copy this thing and also use it here in the display section, because after edit we have to move here. Now let's run our project. Okay, so let's move here inside this person, all records, and here if I click in this person one, okay, So we are not going anywhere because we need to change the route here. ASP page, ASP route dash ID, because we are going to provide ID. And okay, ASP, it should be like item ID, I think, at the rate person dot ID. Let's see it's right or not. Okay, changes are successfully saved. So if I click here and so that should not be item ID, that should only be ID, because the name of our parameter is ID. If it was name, then it should be like this name. Right now the name of our parameter that we are using here, where here it is ID. So if this parameter is name, then it should be name. Okay, so right now it is ID, so it should be ID. Okay, so let's click here. Now we can see this page here, and let's name it max@gmail.com. saved successfully. Okay, now we have this max. Okay, so these changes are persisted in the database, and here it should have a heading like this: H3 persons or people. Okay, so it should be changed soon. Yeah, people. Okay, now what we need to define here, we need to define this delete. Okay, so one thing I want to say you that, okay, but I have accidentally closed that display all page. What I'm gonna show you, actually these things like this OnGet and OnPost are called handler. These are not methods, these are called handlers. So we can have multiple handlers like OnGet and OnPost, but we can have other handlers like OnPost delete. So we are going to use that OnPost delete here. So what we are going to write here, OnPost delete async, it should be async task I action result. Okay, now we need to change this to I action result, and it should return a page. Here it should have ID. Okay, OnPost delete async. So where we are gonna find first person, so where person equals to ctx dot person dot find ID. If person equals to null, then return not found. Otherwise we are going to delete this person ctx. So first of all we need to define here try ctx dot person dot remove person ctx dot save changes, and temp data dot success equals to deleted successfully. Okay, otherwise here in this exception, sorry, cat section, Otherwise ctx dot not ctx temp data dot error equals to error on deleting record. We will return redirect to same page, so return redirect to page. Okay, so it is our OnPost delete testing method. So let's see how we can call this method from here. Okay, so first of all, to call the handlers, we need to define a form. Okay, here form and asp action equals to display all. Now this link should be pasted here and it will be a button, and it should be a submit button because we have to submit a form. But before deleting, it will fire on click event on click, and here we will just call the return, and it will be confirm method window.confirm method. It will ask us, are you sure? So first of all, it will define a confirm dialog that are you sure. If we click on yes, then it will delete the button, otherwise it will not delete the record, sorry, not button. Okay, now let's remove it and remove this comment. So it should be display all, and sp route id is not okay. Asp, so we need to define here, actually we have to remove this guy and we have to use it. Asp page handler equals to delete, because we are using the delete handler, so we need to define here asp page handler equals to delete. Okay, so let's put a breakpoint here and let's see is this method is actually hitting or not. So let's put a breakpoint here, and okay, let's remove it, let's put it here and let's run this project. But before that, what we are going to do, we are going to move here the person and here the nav section. First of all, we are going to change it to display all, display all. Okay, now what we are going to do here, we are gonna put a button here like this one and just paste it here. Okay, and let's add a class my to btn info and btn dark, add more. Okay, and it should be a create. So this button will move us to create page. Okay, so let's see. If we click here, where the control of this project will go, okay, we will move here. If we click here, we will move here. If we click here, we will move back to the same page. I know now design has little bit messy, but it's okay. So right now what we have to do, we have to delete some records. So let's click here, let's click on cancel. Okay, but that's fine. If I click on OK, so I moved here, and if we move our mouse pointer here, we are getting id equals to 3. That is a good sign. So let's see, we are finding person. Yes, we are finding a person with id 3, person3 @gmail.com. okay, so we are removing that person, saving changes, and initializing the temp data. And let's remove this breakpoint now, we do not need it, and it will redirect to this same page. Okay, it will take a while. So here we have the deleted successful message, and we do not have that record. Okay, so our deletion has successfully completed. Now what we will see how we can make changes in our database and how we can add some more tables in our database. For that, what we need to do, if we want to create a new table, then we have to create a new class, and let's name that class, let's name it as a category.cs, and it is nothing related to person, so keep that thing in mind. And I'm seeing here breakpoints, so let's remove it from here. Okay, so let's do the same thing again. Create an ID, okay, that is nice. So let's write here again a string name, and this field will be a required one, so we will put a required here. And okay, again I'm not able to use IntelliSense, so what I'm gonna do here, I'm just gonna move here and use this line and paste it here. Okay, usually when we click here and press Ctrl dot, then this line is automatically updated, and for some weird reasons it is not working right now. That's it. So now here we will put a question mark. Okay, fine. Now what we are going to do, we are going to add field, and let's name it to profile, sorry, person, yes, profile picture. Okay, so we are going to add this field into database. So because I have to add a new table, so I have to define a DB set here. It will be a category, again, and we are good. Okay, now again what we have to do, we have to open this package manager console, and here we will write a command, add migration, and added new, let's put inside the double quotes, added new fields and table. Okay, let's press enter, and it is gonna take a while because first it will build a project, then we will update our database after that. My system is a little bit slow, so that's why it is taking time. Update database. Now this update database command will look for the latest migration file, and where we can find this migration file, here inside this migration folder. So it is our latest one, so that update database command will look for this one, because we have the multiple migration commands. It is our initial migration file, and this one is our latest one. So update database command will always look for the latest one. Okay, so what we are going to do now, we have successfully updated those fields into database. So we will add a profile picture. For that, what we are going to do now, we will see how to create our services. So for that, we will create a new file. Let's name it services. Okay, here what I am going to do, I am going to create a new interface. So let's name it file service. Fine. Now we will create a new class. Let's name it file service. Okay, now what we will do, we will inherit that interface here, file service. And right now we are not focusing on any code here. What we are doing, just we are creating this interface and create this file, this class file, and we are inheriting that interface here. Now if we have to use those services in our project, then we have to register them here. So for registering them here, let's write services dot add transient, and we have multiple ways like this: add transient, add scoped, and add singleton, and we are not going to discuss about that here. So please find about it in the internet, and they have little bit difference. So we are going to use a transient version here. I file service, fine, comma, file service. Okay, good. Now we have successfully registered our services. Now we have registered our services, then we can inject them anywhere in our project. Without that, we cannot use the dependency injection of that service. It means we cannot inject them anywhere in our project. Okay, so now we have to define some methods. Now let's move to my gists. So you can go there, gist.github.com/rd003. It is my GitHub profile, and here you will find this ifile service, and here I have some methods. So first, let's copy this name and let's move here. Very nice, good. Okay, and we have another method here for deleting image. It is a boolean type. Okay, so it is an interface, not a class. Fine. So interface does not contain any body of the method, so we are not defining any body here, and of course we cannot define it at all. So these two methods are going to have in this file service. Now it is showing me error, and it is saying that please implement those two methods. So what we are going to do here, we are copying this whole code from here to here and replace our file service code with this. Okay, so now let's understand this code, what it is doing. First of all, we are creating a field here of a web host environment. What it will do, I will show you later. Now we are creating the constructor here, and we are assigning that parameter to this environment field. What we are doing here, we are injecting this iWebHost environment as a constructor injector here in this file. So we are basically just injecting this iWebHost environment service, and we are going to use the methods of this iWebHost environment. So here it is a method for saving our file. First of all, we are getting the file from this iForm file, and it is returning a tuple. What it will return two things, integer and a string. Integer will return the status code, which will be 0 or 1, 0 for error, 1 for success, and a string will return a message. So here www path, first of all we are finding the path of this project with the help of this environment variable. That's why we have injected this iWebHost environment here. Okay, and now we are getting the path from this code, path.combine, and we are combining this www.path with this uploads folder. Right now we do not have any uploads folder, so it will check that if we have this path right now. If we have this path, so where this path will be, it will access it from here. So if we have a folder here with uploads, then this directory.exist.path is true. It means it is finding the path here, it is finding the uploads folder here. So what this means, it is just finding upload folder here. So we should have uploads folder here. What if I do not have that upload folder? Then it will create one. So if we do not have that folder, it will create one. So it will create a folder name uploads here. Right now it is not here. It will automatically create it when we execute this code. Okay, so keep that thing in mind. It will be created here. Now we are getting the extension from the file, which is we are getting here image file. We are getting the extension of this file, and these are the allowed extension for the file. These are the allowed extensions, and we are checking that is the file that is coming from the user contains this extension, these extension or not. If these are the valid extensions, then we will move forward. Otherwise we will return from here with error message and status code 0. So here what we are doing, we are creating a unique file name for our image, which will be this guid.newguid.toString. New file name will be newguid plus extension of the path. So our file name will be a random string plus extension. It means if we have a jpg file, then our file will be a random string.jpg. Now we are combining the path with new file name, and we are using this file stream service here to create that file inside that folder, and we are copying it and we are closing that stream, and we are returning it true. Okay, we are returning as 1 and with the file name here. So if we have successfully created a file, then we will return it to the user with status code 1. Otherwise it will return a 0 and error has occurred. Same thing is happening here. So we are deleting a file here, so we are only getting the file name from the user side, and we are finding that file in this uploads folder. If it finds it, it will delete, otherwise it will return false. Okay, so that is how this code is working. I hope you understood all of this thing. Now how we are gonna upload the file from the user end. So let's click here in this create section. Okay, now what we have to do, we have to copy this thing here and we will paste it here. But before that, what we need to do, okay, so where are we right now? In this create section. Now what we have to do, we have to click here and go to definition. Okay, let's create a not mapped property. What this not mapped will do, this property is not going to save in the database. Okay, so if we write here not mapped, then this property is not going to save in a database. So it will be I form file, then file. Let's name it image file. Okay, now we are good. So we are moving here, so watch here very carefully. For uploading file, we have to include this thing here, enc type equals to multipart / form data, otherwise you are not able to post the file back to the server. Okay, so keep that thing in mind. Please include this line, do not skip this part here. Okay, now what we have to do, we have copied this thing here from here. Now we have to change is I form I image file. Good, just paste it here and here. Okay, we are good now, but it should be input type equals to file. Okay, and okay, it's fine. Now move here in this section and move here, and what we will check here, we will check if this person dot file doesn't equals to null. Okay, if file is not null, then what we are gonna do, first we need to inject that service here. So we can do here I file service, and if we press control dot here, it will say that create and assign field file service. Okay, now press underscore here, write underscore here, and we are good to go. Now we can remove this from here. Okay, now we can use the file service here. So what we are going to check here, if where file result f result equals to file service dot save image, and it will be person dot image file. So if file result, if f result dot item1, and item1 is integer value, equals to 1 or 0. First we will check for 0. Okay, let's check for 1. If we are getting the file result, okay, then what we are going to do, we are gonna save it into database. So here let's person dot image file equals to f result dot image item2. Okay, and we are not going to check else condition here because we can update that profile picture from the edit method if we failed here. Okay, I guess we are doing everything right. So let's put a breakpoint here. Let's check it. First of all, we are getting some error here, so let's check it where we are getting those errors. So let's see. Okay, warning. So here's the error, and it should be profile picture. Person.profile picture equals to item dot key, and it is the name of the image. Okay, so let's build this solution. Okay, we have 1 succeed, 0 failed. Now we can run this project. So now here we can see in this page we have this person. Let's name it Jack at the rate xyz.com. Let's choose a file here. Okay, and it is Jack. Let's save it. And so image file is not null. Very nice. Now what we are getting from the result, this tuple we are returning, it is returning item 1 equals to 1 and item 2 is image file. Okay, so let's add it here, person.add, next, save changes, and here we have this exception. See the inner exception, invalid column name profile picture. Okay, so why it is happening? We will see it right now, not later, right now. So when I moved here in the SQL server and I'm not seeing anything like this column name profile picture and a table category, so it means the changes have not successfully updated. So first of all, let's look onto our migration file, and it is our migration file that we have created. Add column, okay, fine, and it has created a table. Okay, then why it has not happened? So I guess update command was not successfully executed that time, or we haven't pressed an update database command. So we will write that update database. Okay, update database. We are not using the add migration command because we have already created this file before. So that's it. I guess I forget to run this command. Actually, I don't even remember it. So what's happened here? Okay, so let's see, command timeout supported. So now if we see here, if we look here, then we have this category table and now we have this column. Okay, so that is fine. Name, email, and profile picture. Good. I guess now we are good. And now let's run this project. Okay. And let's enter those fields again. So it will be Jack at the xyz.com, and Jack, it is Jack. Okay, so let's save here and let's move from here. Okay, let's move forward. Okay, everything is fine. So let's remove this breakpoint from here, and so you can see the success message here. So we will move here, and what we can see here right now, we will have this upload folders and it have the two images. This one is created before when we have failed to save these entries into database, and this one is created right now. Okay, now how to show these records here in the display all section. So let's create here, let's go here and add a new column here, and let's name it profile pic. Okay, now below email, let's add a new td and let's check here if person, sorry, if string dot is null or empty, if profile picture is not null, so person dot profile pic is not null or empty, then we will show a profile picture here. So it will be like img src images, sorry, not images, it was uploads, and person dot profile picture alt equals to profile pic. Okay, and we are going to apply some style here. Style equals to width will be 100, and okay, 100 will be enough, and height should be 50 px, and it will be pixel also. Okay, and else what we will get here, otherwise we are gonna display here not available. Okay, so why we are getting error here right now? Okay, anyway, run this project, and if there is any error it will show. Sometime this Visual Studio goes crazy. So here we can see that all of them don't have any profile picture, but this one have, so it is displaying here, and we can change its width and height. So let's change it to 150 and its height should be 100. Let's see how it is looking. Okay, it is looking much better, but its width should be like this, 120. Okay, now it is fine. So that's how we add and display the images. We will do same thing in the edit. So for that, what we are going to do, we are going to move into this edit.cs HTML page, and let's go there in create.cs HTML page and copy this image file from here, and let's close this guy. Let's move here in the CS HTML page and paste it here. That is fine. Now here we also need to change this form, and we have to add this thing which is called enc type. Okay, why it is not working? enc type equals to forms, sorry, multipart slash form data. And here what we are going to see, let's copy some of this code from here, and let's copy this guy. Okay, so what we are going to do, we are going to put it here, and we are going to check if model dot and model dot, what do we have? Okay, so edit model, and we have this page model here. It is our edit model. Okay, fine. Model dot person. Okay, so we have this property name model dot person dot profile picture, and it will go same here, person dot model dot person dot profile picture. So it is our path for the image file. So if we have this image here, it will be displayed. Okay, now this is how it is going to save, and yeah, that's fine. I guess we have done here in this Razor page section. So let's move here in the page model. Okay, so let's move here in the post async section, and let's see first of all why it is giving me this error, because I am not using any await here. So not here. Okay, we have to use it here. Await save changes async. Okay, we are fine. Now we have removed this warning message, so we have to do same thing here in the create.cs HTML. So here this OnPost async save changes async, and here it should be await. Okay, now let's move here and let's update that profile picture. So let's copy some code from here and go there in the post method. Okay, so let's copy this guy from here and paste it here. Okay, not here but here. Okay, so we need to inject that file service here also. So let's go there and let's copy this guy. File service, paste it here, comma, file service, press Control dot. Okay, create and assign field file service. That is fine. Put underscore here and remove this. Okay, now we are fine. Now we can close it. So let's go here, and so if what we have to do here, we have to save the image, and first we have to save the image and remove the older image from folder. So for that, what we have to do here, first we have to store the old image equals to, and it should be retrieved from this person dot person dot profile picture. Okay, now we are retrieving the older image from here. Now we are calling this file service save image method, and it is returning us a new image after saving it to the folder. Now our image is saved to the folder. Now what we are going to do, we are updating our profile picture, person.profile picture here, and we are updating our record. Okay, after that, what we are going to do, okay, so let's call this method here. Okay, so let's remove this old image section from here to here, because we are going to use it here. So here we will check that if old image doesn't equals to person dot profile picture, it means we have updated our profile picture. Okay, so if this old picture and the person picture profile picture is the same, it means we haven't updated that profile picture. So what we are going to do here, then we are gonna call that service file service dot delete image, and we are gonna pass that image file name here. So we will just pass this old image there. Okay, so let's put a breakpoint here and let's try to update this. Let's try to call this method. So now we are in this display person section, and here what we are going to do, we are going to edit this Jack field, and what we are going to change its name. What we are going to do, we are just going to change its name and email. And right now let's change this profile picture. Okay, and let's put it here and click on the update section. So we have updated it successfully, and why it haven't gone here? The main question is why it haven't gone here. So let's see. Okay, let's see where I have put that breakpoint. OnPost async. Okay, what it is saying that the breakpoint will not be hit. The source code is different from the original version. Okay, I don't know why it is saying. Let's run this project. Let's build it thing again. Sometimes these kinds of things happen. And let's see. Okay, let's run this project again. So here, as we can see, the breakpoint did not hit, but we have updated our profile picture with name. So let's update it again. Let's choose a different file, the image2, and right now let's move here. So it is null. Okay. Now here person has updated, changes have been saved. Okay, so now it is the old image. Let's see, old image equals to null and profile picture equals to this. So why do we not have any old image? Okay, we will see about it later, but it has saved images for us. Let's see. But right now what we are doing here, we are not deleting any image, and it is getting saved here multiple times. So as we can see, this image already has updated. Okay, so we do not need it right now. So let's move here in this folder and let's see which image we have been using here. Okay, this one. So let's remove these three images manually. Okay, so first of all, we need to check that why we are not getting any profile picture here, and let's see why it is happening. Person.profile picture, person.find. Okay, so I got it why we are not getting this profile picture, because we need another field that will hold that profile picture. So it should be like this: input type equals to hidden ESP4 profile picture, and it is going to hold that profile picture. So let's build this project again and let's check this functionality. And let's see where we have put that breakpoint. First of all, let's move that breakpoint. Okay, like here will be fine. Now let's run this project and let's see the result. So let's click on this edit button and let's try to update this image again, and let's change it back to this one. Let's hit the update button. Let's move further and let's see that we are getting old image or not. Yeah, we are getting the old image. Okay, so this one is our old image. Now we have updated the profile picture and let's save it. Okay, now it is not the same, so we are gonna delete the older one. Right now we have these two images. This one is the current one and it is the old one. So let's see, let's move further. Now let's see, it has deleted that image and replaced it with this one. Okay, so we have successfully achieved this functionality, at least. So let's call one more condition here. So let's do not update any image. Okay, so if we are not updating any image, so why I'm not hitting any breakpoint? Because I have put it here. So let's put it here in the try section. Okay, so let's try to update it and let's see here. We are not getting any image, so we are just going to update. So this condition will also be false and we will move further and everything will be fine. Now we have to check one more condition. So let's go back and let's change this person to Jill, and let's change here Jill@yahoo.com. Okay, so let's try to add image to Jill and let's update it. So here image file is not null, very fine. And right now we do not have any old image. That is absolutely right. So actually how it is going to delete that old image, because we do not have it right now. So here is a little bit of buggy code right now, because first I have to check that null condition. So if old image is not null, let's see, let's put it in this way: if string dot is null or empty, and old image. Okay, so if old image is not null, here. So let's test this code again. So now let's update this record with name Max, and here what we are going to do, we are going to put this image here, and we are hitting a breakpoint. That is absolutely fine. Right now we do not have any old image. That is absolutely right. And here we are going to update the image, and now it will not move into this section. Okay, so we have success in this test case. Okay, so let's try to hit the update method without any update. So here what we are going to see that, okay, so it should not move here, fine, and this condition is also fine. And let's try to update an existing image. So let's try to update it to this image, and let's see, now we have the old image and new image also. So here it is our old image, very fine, and here we have entered into this section and we have deleted the old image successfully. Okay, so now let's change its profile picture also. So let's put this profile picture here, and okay, so we are absolutely fine here. Okay, so we have completed this section. Let's close this guy and remove it from here. Now we have seen that how to add new record in the existing table and how to add table to existing database. So now what we are going to learn, we are going to learn to scaffold our item. So scaffolding is a way that create things for you automatically. So in this case we are creating the pages automatically here. So what we are going to add here, the category folder. Okay, inside this folder we are going to right click on this folder and add. Now click on this new scaffolded item, and here in the last you will see Razor pages using entity framework CRUD. So click on add. It is asking us few things, which model class we are going to use. We are going to use this category. Okay, and the context class will be database context, and here we have to select this use layout page, and it is gonna be our pages and share. This is our layout page. Okay, and it is saying that leave empty if it is set in Razor view start file, and we have set our layout page here in the view start.cs HTML page, so leave it empty and click here on add, and it is gonna take some time. So it is done, and if you see here, you can see it has automatically generated these 5 pages for us, and these are these 5 pages. So we have some little bit error here because we have to change this category to this data dot category. Now we are good to go. Okay, so this section is done. So now in delete pages, and we have to do same in all the pages. So let's do here and close this page. Let's do it here also. We are done here, and let's do it here also. Okay, we are good. Now let's do it here in this page also. Okay, we are good. So let's close this guy and let's open this shared folder. and open this nav section. We are going to create a navigation link for the category, and what we are going to do, we are just going to write here category and asp page equals to category slash index. Okay, so let's run this project. So here we can see this category section, and okay, so let's click on this category. Fine, till then we can do one more thing. Let's remove that junk from here, and right now we do not need this thing, so let's comment this. And if you don't know how to comment this thing, so just right here, go here, and you will find something here. Actually, I'm not seeing anything here right now, so leave that thing. Just select this section and press Ctrl K C. It will comment this thing out, and if we select this thing and press Ctrl K U, it will uncomment this. Okay, so it is the shortcut for commenting, and the long way is go select this thing and go here, edit in advanced, and here the comment section, comment selection. So here Ctrl K, Ctrl C. For uncomment, Ctrl K, Ctrl U. So click here. Okay, now let's see this thing has removed or not. It should be removed. Okay, now we are fine. So if we click here in the create new button, let's create this thing, and it have some messy design issues, and we can change it later if we want. So let's add a category. Let's category name it's clothes. Fine, let's create one more thing here and name it accessories. And let's name it shoes, something like this. And let's name another category and put it something like that. Let's put some random category 1. So it is working fine, clothes category 1. So let's click here in edit section, and we can change it to category 2. It is working fine. Let's create, okay, if we click here in details, we can see this detail. Go to back, and if we click here in delete section, it is asking us, do you want to delete it? Yes, we want to delete it. So it works fine, and design always works fine with the default bootstrap design that is provided this page, but we have changed the design, so we have to change these things also. So it is not very useful in all the cases. We always create these things by ourselves, so it is an option in the .NET Core or .NET area, so that's why I am showing you these things. Okay, so here that's how our scaffolding works. So right now I am seeing a little bug here. If I click on this link, then if I click on this home button, privacy, and this category, nothing is getting changed. And why it is happening? So if I remove this link, everything is working fine, but if I go there in privacy, then I try to move back to the person, it is working fine. But after that, if I click here or here, I'm not able to move into those pages. So why it is happening? Because we have to add this forward slash in the beginning of the page name or URL. So let's add all of these things here into all of the links, and I have forgot in the beginning to add these forward slices. So let's put it here and let's save this project. Okay, so it is getting saved and it is saying us to rebuild again. So here the hard reload option failed. Okay, so sometimes this hard reload when works, it's really amazes me, but when it does not, I really hate it, and it is not a very accurate feature right now. It needs lots of changes to be done. So now let's click here in the person tab. Let's click on this privacy tab. Now go here and here, and everything is working fine right now. So let's move back here. Okay, so everything is working just fine. So now we have completed this course. I hope you have enjoyed this course, and I will put down the link of the source code of this project in the description box, so you can find the source code in the description box. So if you find this video helpful, then please hit that like button and let me know in the comments how was your experience with this project or this course. If you have any suggestions, you can also put those in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed this channel, please subscribe it so that you won't miss any content from this channel. So that's it for now. See you next time.